Yo, AnimatorBot here, with another Rick and Morty review for you. This episode is called Big Trouble in Little Sanchez.
Spoiler warning, bitch.
So in this episode, the main plot is that Rick transfers his mind into a younger clone body of himself. We later see problems arise from this when we discover that Rick isn't exactly what he seems to be. Right off the bat, this new Rick is nicer, more supportive, less cynical, likes having childish fun. While watching it the first time through, I didn't really think much of it. I just sort of thought, wow, Rick's being a lot nicer. But we later find out that this isn't exactly intentional. We find out that Rick is sort of trapped inside this body. Someone describes it as the teenage mind taking all the bad stuff and locking it away. But all that bad stuff is Rick. And I guess that really asks the question, what really makes a person? What really makes you, you? And for Rick, all those horrible memories and, knowing that everyone's gonna die, that is who Rick is. It reminds me of episode 4 of this season. The message of that is that your true family is the ones you have bad memories of. And the true you, it's everything together. The good and the bad. You can't be you without the bad stuff. Rick more so than probably anyone else. We first get hinted towards Tiny Rick's true nature when we through these made up songs and dances, which are quite unnerving, quite creepy. Something that confuses me is that this is supposed to be a younger clone of Rick. Why doesn't he look younger? He looks just smaller. Like he still has gray hair and everything. Wouldn't he have blonde hair? And I'm assuming he had blonde hair because Beth is blonde. Blonde is a submissive trait, so both parents needed to be blonde in order for Beth to be blonde. So at least I think that's how it goes. It just seems oddly weird that he still looks like an old man, just shorter. Summer, being the more perceptive of the group, sees that something's wrong first, and Morty kind of, I don't know if he doesn't see it or just wants to he kind of refuses to see it at first because things are going so well with him and Jessica. But that begs the question of, it seemed pretty obvious at the beginning, but then Morty notices later. That seems plot convenience, just a way to come to this climax. Have Morty not notice what was obvious earlier and then notice it later in the same way it was being expressed earlier. It seemed kind of, contrived. Our B plot is Jerry and Beth go to marriage counseling on an alien planet that has apparently a 100% success rate. And they do something really creative here. We get to see what they see of each other. And then it's kind of like flanderization to the furthest possible extreme, personified. And then we get to see the images of what each of them see of each other compared to what they actually are. The real Jerry is able to boss around the slug Jerry easily because he isn't really like that. Beth isn't completely evil and a genius like how Jerry sees her. So they're sort of codependent in their bad marriage, which I guess is kind of their way of explaining that idea that Justin Roiland and Jane Harmon went into this with, is that they are the two people who are always on the verge of breaking up but never actually do. So they're sort of codependent. It's like a okay, I'm gonna go a bit off topic, but bear with me, it's like the Eye of Harmony in the TARDIS in Doctor Who, always aging, never dying. It's sort of stuck in this eternal state of badness, their marriage, but it can never end. What does this really mean? I guess it just means that they're bad for each other, but they still kind of need each other. I'm not sure if that's a message saying it's going to be a horrible and miserable relationship, or if it's a hopeful one saying that there's still a way through this. These two could still be together. I guess it's up to interpretation. I like to be optimistic, so I'd like to think that it could work, but who knows. As of making this video right now, I have seen all of season 2, all the way up to the finale. And I have some words to say about Jerry as we go along. But looking back at this episode now, knowing what we get later, right here Jerry is written perfectly. He's not such an extreme of what a lot of, I think, people might see him as. He's a good balance of a real person. And, I'll talk about later what they do with him. But I just want to make a point, like, right here is perfect. Well, that's all I really have to say about this episode. It was really good. I really like this one. And I guess, yoo-hoo. Catch you on the flip side.